every moment you are casting a vote of either being in a relationship with your specific person or casting a vote of being single. And this is actually done through our thoughts, beliefs, and our actions. And something I always like everyone to do, especially when they're manifesting a specific person, is to actually look at those thoughts, look at those beliefs, and look at those actions. And you could do this right now and ask yourself, does this thought, does this belief, does this action, does it cast a vote or does it support me being in the perfect relationship? Or does it cast that vote or support me not being in a relationship? And as you actually begin to go throughout your day with this thought process, it only takes one day to do this. You'll start to realize you do a whole host of things that are voting against and pushing against exactly what it is that we want. And it almost feels insane, right? To do something against what we want. How does that make sense? But you'll find yourself doing this. And you can even look a lot of the times in some comments or some questions that are asked. You can see sometimes people will comment on manifestation videos like, where are my successes? How come my specific person hates me? How come this? How come that? And if you look at those comments or questions and you ask yourself, does this support the belief that we have what we want or not? And the answer becomes pretty obvious, and we realize that our whole manifestation, the whole reason that we're attempting, or the whole reason it feels hard to manifest our specific person, is that we're actively working against ourselves every single step of the way. Because whereas affirmations, like your affirmations that you repeat, that support your end state, sometimes you can accidentally state affirmations throughout the day that end up pushing against it. Like even making jokes about being single, things like that. Like I know they're just jokes, right? But there's actually a quote in the Bible of something along the lines of God won't be mocked, right? And that's kind of like your reality. If you casted a vote for you being single, even if it was a joke, it still is a vote being casted towards you being single. And your brain, your subconscious, doesn't discriminate. It doesn't change because it's a joke. It just takes it in and goes, okay, one vote towards us being single. That's something that we want. I'm going to give it to you. Because always remember as well, your internal state and your subconscious are always trying to help you and always trying to support you. It's trying to think, what am I thinking about? What am I assuming? What am I believing? That's what it's going to give you. And it doesn't care what you want or what you desire. So never discriminate or feel like you can or cannot have something, because your subconscious just wants to bring you whatever it is that you believe you want. So never feel, again, like you should or should not desire something. Because as Neville Goddard would say, that's like eating from the tree of knowledge, saying something is good or bad. Because nothing in your reality is good or bad. It just is, right? And we are either reacting to it. So then taking this voting idea further, at any point in time, before any action you take, you can ask yourself, what would be the vote of me being in a relationship? Okay? And then acting that out as it comes up. Or if you're alone, thinking, or going to do something by yourself, does this vote towards me being in a relationship or does it not? And this, when we really, really start to implement this, you are going to notice a massive change in everything happening around you. So what I want you to do is do exactly that throughout your day. Ask yourself, does this vote towards a relationship or does this vote towards being single? Is me joking about being single support me being single or support me being in a relationship? And you'll find that, again, I know I mentioned this because it's so funny, but the answer becomes so obvious. Like we realize, oh my gosh, and you may realize it too after this video, I'm actually doing a lot of stuff that goes against my belief of being in my end state with my specific person. And this just causes an incongruency within ourselves. And congruency, when you're feeling the best at whatever you're doing, just means that your thoughts are implemented along with your actions towards the same goal. So your thoughts and beliefs are, I'm in a relationship, and your actions and motivations are, I'm in a relationship. That's called congruency. And that's the quickest way to manifesting your specific person. So basically, our thoughts we know are, I want to be with my specific person. But then is every vote that we're casting for that, or is it against it? And think of it in this way as well. And it can help you with worrying about any sort of anxieties that you might have. It's always a democracy, right? So whoever gets the most votes is going to win. So if you have some ideas, thoughts, or worries that go against exactly what you want, like maybe you say some things that aren't necessarily voting for your end state, that's okay if a majority of your votes are towards your specific person. And I know I even mentioned anxiety and worry technically have nothing to do with your manifestation. It's all with something called self-efficacy. So your ability to feel as if you can accomplish this thing, that's all that matters. So are we voting that we feel we can accomplish, we can be in the relationship with our specific person, or are we voting against it? And something I always like to use, or just like a metaphor or an idea, is to think about two versions of yourself standing in front of you at this current moment. One consistently, through thoughts, beliefs, and actions, votes for the reality of them being with their specific person. And the other version of you, through thoughts, beliefs, and actions, again, votes being single. Who do you feel, which version of you do you feel is going to be with your specific person? And then the thought is going to be so obvious, right? Like, I don't know, right now it's so simple and so obvious that it could be like an aha moment of, oh my gosh, I'm actually doing a lot of things that don't align me with my end state. But it's bringing this to your attention that's going to change it. Because again, you're obviously going to state, the version of me constantly voting through thoughts, beliefs, and actions that I'm in my relationship with my specific person, that obviously that version of you is going to be with their specific person. So then, I know it sounds almost too simple to be true, and you might ask, well then why don't we just do it? And it's because we're not bringing this idea to our attention, and we're just doing what we naturally and habitually do on a daily basis. So think about it in that way. Whatever we do habitually is going to be the state that we remain in. So when your habits, and Neville Goddard would mention, and I should almost make another video on this for you if you want, let me know in the comments if you want this. Imagination always follows habits. So what you're habitually doing, thinking, feeling, believing, even actions again, that is where your imagination is going to follow, because your mind wants to fit everything into whatever belief system that you contain, and that's what changes your reality. So again, I want you to ask yourself, pretend like you are your own political party voting for president, one version of you of being in a relationship and one version of you being single. Which one are you voting for? And even if there is turmoil between those two individuals and you feel uncomfortable switching or voting for one another, vote for the one that you want. Vote and be proud, be confident in that vote of you being with your specific person. And don't back down. Even if the other political party of you being single starts to talk some smack against you, that's okay. It's perfectly fine. Obviously, if that version of you is losing, it's going to use some pretty crazy ideas and going to say some pretty crazy stuff within your mind to try to get you to switch sides, but don't listen to it and continue with it. And over time, this is actually going to become really easy and really effortless. You're going to find that the more you vote for the version of yourself that's in your end state with your specific person, the easier it actually becomes, and you'll start to automatically do these votes. Your actions, your beliefs, your thoughts will automatically be consistent with that party of you being with your specific person. So it's just something to think about, and what I want you to try out for the next 24 hours. Just look at, again, you can even write it down if you want to. Ask yourself, what am I voting for? What is the implication of what I'm thinking, acting, and doing? Does this help me with the belief of being with my specific person, or does it not? And you're going to find it becomes really obvious when you do this. And then you're going to see that things start to change around you and your beliefs become more malleable to what we want rather than feeling like they're working against us. Because we are only, if anyone could be working against you, you're the creator of this reality. So it can only be ourselves working against ourselves. So always keep that in mind. If you did have any comments or questions, or wanted me to make that video that I mentioned earlier, just leave it in the comment section below. Remember, you can also reach out to me on my website if you want to send me a personal question or just some success, or wanted to some help with your manifestation. Head over to kyleaugustcoaching.com and I'd be totally happy to help my best friend out. So, because I want you to be with your specific person so you can invite me to the wedding, right? Thank you so much for stopping by today and hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next video.